show, A Komamaida Curtain Call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. What? You haven't gotten your tickets for Maui Academy of Performing Arts, Makana Aloha Foundation, and Maui County of Economic Development's production of Dale Wasserman, Mitch Lee, and Joe Darian's Man of La Mancha at the Castle Theater of the Maui Arts and Cultural Center? This is a great show with world-class performances you'd have to pay a lot more for and fly to either New York or London to see this quality. Beautiful to look at, marvelous to hear, and remarkable to behold, this Man of La Mancha will live on in memory for a long time. The creative A-Team is back after a 4-year hiatus, led by visionary genius David C. Johnston, with musical master John Rowehl and movement magician Andre Morissette. This La Mancha is breathtaking. It is the fastest 2 hours you will ever spend. After 21 years, Richard Cray is back in the part he was born to play, Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote de la Mancha. From the moment he steps onto the stage to his submission to the Inquisition at the play's conclusion, Mr. Cray is in command. His plea of guilty to the court of murderers and the thieves in prison is followed by his story to gain their mercy. It is a story of dignity, honor, unbending nobility with some serious hallucinations, and Mr. Cray commands the audience for every moment. All of Mr. Cray's songs should be on a recording. The song that will be an earworm is Dulcinea. You will not be able to get it out of your head. But the one we all know, the most famous one, it reached number 35 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the adult contemporary charts, and has been covered by everyone from Sinatra to Josh Groban. The Impossible Dream is done by Mr. Cray as if you never heard it before. The truth of his telling, the thoughtful introspection before he climbs and summits the vocal mountain is transcendently revelatory. Mr. Cray owned this song and this part. It's a pity there isn't a national touring company he could join after the close of this show. Joining Mr. Cray is Hawaii's most popular and accomplished female singer, Amy Hanaiali'i Gilliam, as Aldonza Dulcinea. Her Aldonza is a no-nonsense woman who is more than capable of taking care of herself. We are all familiar with Ms. Hanaiali'i Gilliam's Broadway quality belt, which she demonstrated to fine effect in her opening number, It's All the Same. After she meets Don Quixote, and he dubs her Dulcinea, she revealed an operatic chest voice in the plaintive ballad What Does He Want of Me? And her reprise of Dulcinea later in the show was glorious. She pulls you in even when she is kicking an attacker in the private parts. But her struggle in the latter part of the show, when she tries to do the noble thing, was gut-wrenching. Dale Wasserman was a serious playwright. He adapted One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and wrote many other stage and teleplays in his 94 years. His characters are more Sondheim-esque than Rodgers and Hammerstein. Ms. Hanaiali'i Gilliam's transformation into Dulcinea was truthful and moving. She is not only a great singer, but she is an outstanding actor. Mr. Johnston could not have found two better leads. Francis Tawa played Sancho the last time MAPA produced this play at Stepping Stone Playhouse in 2013, but you would never know it. Mr. Tawa, whose Lenny of Mice and Men still resonates for me, presented a Sancho who is completely loyal, prepared to explain his master's unusual behavior, and act as comic relief. He was there for his master constantly. Mr. Tawa, besides being a fine actor, possesses a mellifluous tenor voice he showed off in all of his numbers. His opening duet with Don Quixote gave the audience an exciting preview of what was to come in the rest of the show. Thalon Nicolau returned to Maui last year, where he played Shakespeare in the mega hit Something's Rotten. In this show, he opens it with some serious sounds in the prison scene, and he closes it with a psalm just prior to the finale. In between, he has a terrific trio with Mara Park as Antonia and Bobby Joe Curley as the housekeeper, and his To Each His Dulcinea is another high point in his electric performance. Vinny Linares as the barber also played the part in 2013 production. His singing voice has actually gotten better, and at 79 you would never know it. He is agile and was clearly enjoying every moment on stage. His golden helmet of membrino cuckoo moment was priceless. There are 6 cast members making their Maui MAPA stage debuts. Benjamin David was the governor of the prison, the innkeeper, and a Moor. His most auspicious musical moment came when he led the ensemble, a cappella, into the musically tricky Night of the Woeful Countenance. Very nicely done. David Joseph Martinez, as Anselmo, had some Marvy musical moments in Little Bird and The Abduction. Derek Talbot played Dr. Carrasco, where he joined the trio to form a quartet, and We're Only Thinking of Him. He also was powerful as the Knight of the Mirrors and the Duke. Also joining them in debuts were Tobias Hiram as Denorio, and others, Diana Bridle as Maria, and James Morrison as the captain of the Inquisition and Juan. The other spectacular moment came in the Night of Mirrors segment toward the end of the show. Unlike so many island musicals with tracks, this one has a 16-member pit orchestra under the able baton of John Rowehl. This is not an easy score, and the orchestra, as well as the superb singing, raised the level of the show to world-class quality. Bravo to John Rowehl. Andre Morissette's choreography was seamless. The dance numbers blended into the movement without a gap. The dance was performed by mostly non-dancers, but you would never know it. Dan Hayes is Mr. Johnston's go-to set designer for the Castle Theater, and there is no one who knows that theater and what it can be better than he. This set, with its multiple levels and depth, worked. It was so wonderful to see a real set and not a projection. Kathleen Schultz has done it again. She completely reimagined the costumes for this show, and they are perfect. She was assisted by the welcome return of Linda Tim. Marcus Strellas returned to the Castle Theater, where he worked as lighting and tech director for 29 years as lighting designer for this show, made for so many theatrically brilliant moments. The lighting was a star of the show, especially in The Quest and Night of the Mirrors. David C. Johnston is responsible for bringing this outstanding cast and great show to the Castle Theater stage. We all owe him a debt of gratitude for seeing the importance of the message of, quote, faith in the enduring power of the human spirit, unquote. Mahalo nui loa, Mr. Johnston. You have done it again. At the conclusion of the show, the audience leaped to their feet and the ovation continued after the house lights were brought up. A most deserving recognition of and appreciation for what they had just experienced. Man of La Mancha continues Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and closes Sunday at 3 p.m. Go to www.mauiarts.org for tickets and information. You do not want to miss this. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.